Greetings, it's Coach Smith. Got a cool video here I wanted to share with you. We're working with a young quarterback who is at the varsity level, but he's trying to learn a new system. The great thing about this video is that it really helps give the young quarterback or parent out there or young coach an idea of the depth of knowledge required at the quarterback position to be successful. You know, you see these quarterbacks that are throwing for 2,000-3,000 yards per year at the varsity level or college level. There's an extreme depth of knowledge required to do that. Not only, obviously, you got to have a skill set, but so many people think that it's just the skill set that'll get you by. The skill set, being able to throw and move your feet, will get you into the batter's box, okay? But to get to first base and second base and third base and around the bases, that's all based on leadership, knowledge of the game, knowledge of your system, experience, and you'll get a full appreciation for that. If you really want to be great, then you need to be great mentally. You know, this game is played largely from the waist down and the neck up, meaning it's not all about throwing. It's about moving your feet and being able to think and your knowledge of the game as well. So join us here as we work with this new quarterback, teaching him his new system, the terminology, how to make decisions in the quick game, what side of the field to choose to work, how to come to those decisions based on numbers, reading apex players, outside linebackers, making decisions that way. If you can't determine that way, then making decisions based on matchups, personnel, down and distance situations. Really go into depth here. I think by watching this, you'll gain a whole new perspective on the depth of knowledge required to play this position at a high level. Certainly, if I can help you in that regard, help you understand your system, help you understand the game of football, reach out to me and we'll get you the help that you need so that you can be a great quarterback, so that you can reach your full potential. Enjoy the video.
Now, a couple things before we kind of get rolling in general. I don't know if you've looked at much of my quick game stuff, and I noticed most of these are all out of some kind of doubles 2x2 set. Not everything is mirrored, but some of it is. Got some 3x1s here and there, but without having any actual progressions that he's got written down or anything like that, or his cues, do you have anything off the top of your head that he's told you of where he wants you to be looking, etc.?
Or he said he doesn't really have any reads. It's kind of just depending where the linebacker lines up, or if it's a primary receiver, he'll put him in the spot that he wants the ball going to usually. So
okay, all right, okay, but to have you have most success, because you're the one pulling the trigger, you got to know where you're going and why you're going where you're going before. It's got to be a lot more detailed than what he just told you that. Now, we can go through a lot of scenarios. So I'm going to try to work through, first of all, how I'm going to teach quick game in general. All right. So you have that in your brain and take as many of these kind of notes as you can for yourself. And I don't want you to ever discount what your coach tells you. But if you have a preliminary plan for yourself,
I don't want you to feel like you got to take notes right now, buddy, because I'm recording it. Okay. And you can go back. You're going to go back and watch this recording again.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So this is for you to have a plan. And then if he wants you to do something different, you follow what your coach is telling you. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? And don't ever go, my son did this one time where he said, well, my dad said this. Don't ever say, well, hey, I looked at this with another coach and he told me to do this. Okay. Don't say that to him ever.
But you can say, coach, this is what I was thinking. You could say that.
Yeah. And this is kind of in my study. And this is how I've been taught over the years, or what I was thinking about, how does this sound to you? Or, but if he has a specific way, then you want to do your best to follow that, and if it changes, it changes. But the first thing, okay, so just in general for 2x2 sets, okay, we're looking at numbers. Okay, so the first one.
There you go.
Okay, so we're in a 2x2, and I'll do things quickly. But we have the double slant and then a 10-yard
choice route
with a fade that he can tag an out route. Now, and these concepts in general, are, some of them are standard stuff, some of them are different. But just in general, okay, so in a 2x2 set, how I'm going to work is where numbers are. Our numbers are even pre-snap. So I'm going to work away from numbers. What's that mean? What do you think that means, Caleb?
Numbers like number one receiver, like reads. Okay.
So defensively, what would I mean if you think I'm saying I'm working away from numbers?
Like the sideline, you mean? Or
okay. So let's look at this. How many different ways can a defense line up? We're not gonna look at every way possible, but in general, let's say it's some form of too high picture, right? Are you following me on that?
Yes, sir.
Too high. You following me on too high? Meaning too high safeties? Yes.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Now, if they're in a 4-down, even front, we got 8, so we got 3 left. If they're a perfectly, let's say it's, we're going to make this easy for first. If it's a 4-2 deep core, 4-2 core, and then their third linebacker is over here because this is the wide side of the field and this is the short side. So they protect that wide side with more numbers. What do I mean by numbers? Well, they have 3 defenders. We have 2 initial receivers, right? Here, over here, they have 2 defenders and we have 2 initial receivers. So our numbers are better here, right? Where we're going to have a better chance than a 3-on-2 and a 2-on-2. We like to throw the ball where it's 2-on-2 instead of 3-on-2. Okay. Now, obviously,
that's what he means. You have a numbers advantage.
Where I'm going to throw away from numbers, meaning that they got more numbers over here, so I'm going to go over there. That's our general number one when we're in a 2x2 set. Quarterback, count your numbers, and you don't have to stand there and point out 1, 2, or 3, 4, how many you got. Each defense you're gonna know it by who. Okay, I see my too high, so now I'm going to go right to the linebackers. I see too high safeties. I know it's going to be dictated on their where the linebackers are. So now maybe the team is a 4-3 and they got their corners out there and they got the Sam and then the Mike in the middle and the Willie, and it's balanced all the way around.
Right.
Okay. But I don't have numbers. It's balanced in each one. If these apex players, what's an apex player, Caleb? Do you know?
Is it a linebacker, right?
Right. This linebacker where he's in that alley defender. And he is the apex. What's apex? Apex is halfway in between. Okay, those two. Is he wider than apex? And he's let's say this guy is closer. He's closer than apex. This is the apex line. So I got better shot over here in general. Again, I'm just talking generalities, not this first concept, but. In the 2x2. Let's say it's
by the way, there's a whole video in the app about apex players going to the chalkboard sessions.
Yeah. And so let's say this player's there. Okay. And this player is here. Which side would you like? The left or the right? Just based on those 2 defenders, Caleb.
Left side.
Left side. Okay. Because this apex player is much closer to the core. I got better spacing out there. Okay. Obviously it depends a little bit on the concept and what routes we're running. All right. But first of all, it's the numbers. Okay. Well, then my numbers are pretty equal, but now I'm going to look at the apex players. Okay. Let's change the defense along the same lines.
And Caleb, sometimes you look out there and you don't have time to count players or, where's my, sometimes you just see space. Sometimes it looks crowded over there. It looks like I got a little more
And
room
that's
to work
that's what your coach is talking about when he wears linebackers
Right.
at. So
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a very specific order that you're going to look at, especially when you're watching film of your opponents. So this is now a one high team, and now that strong safety is dropped down. And the Sam and the Mike are in the box, and then your Willie is out here. So now again, you're in a situation where it's pretty much the same on both sides, right? You see that?
What do you do if it's like equal alignments on each side?
Yeah, it's equal alignments. Okay, so your first one we talked about, right, was numbers, right? Where's my numbers? Then it was number 2. It was okay. Numbers are equal, so I'll put that sign right there. So my numbers are equal. My numbers are equal. So now I'm looking at those apex defenders. Okay, and which has a better spot of? Okay, they're equal. Those are equal. All right. So now I'm going all the way to now it's matchup. Okay. Now it's matchup.
This is what our coach was saying, where it's like if you see like our best player on like a corner that's kind of like undersized, you would take that matchup.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever the case may be, just like you said, it could be speed, it could be height, it could be down in distance, it could be I'm throwing. This is my best player against an average strong safety on the choice route. Maybe it's third down and 12, and I don't know if that's going to get there or not, where I think my second slant, I'm going to throw that and complete that at 12. So it's not just about total personnel matchup. It also might be the route that I'm going to throw to get me what I need to get. Situational matchups as well. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
So let's just put that in there, where you're looking at, you're looking at, an A part of that is personnel. All right. And then a B part of it is situational based on what routes you have called. Okay. So that, again, those are, let's draw up another look on that. I gave you a 2 high picture, gave you a 1 high picture. Now we give you where it looks like it's pretty much, straight 4 cross, covers 0, no high, right? And your box look is like that, right? So now your numbers are the same, right? So I don't have any advantage numbers wise. My apex players are the same. So now it is pure matchups, right? And if they're going to go one-on-one across the board, but in the first scenario, in that choice picture, I have a slant right here and I got a slant right here. If this linebackers don't look like they're blitzing, what are they going to do when they see you start to pass? What are these linebackers going to do if they're not blitzing?
Drift to like cover the slant route.
Yeah, they're going to drift. They're going to open up and start. So he's probably going to help that inside slant. So even if this is your best matchup, it's a dead throw.
Okay.
Right. So it's not just about the personnel matchup. Now this throw is a good throw because that safety is going to follow that slant, and now that one is a better throw for me. Okay. Right. Again, it depends on the routes. It depends on what you got. And then situationally, again, maybe it's on the first concept of the Denver, okay, where you have the choice. So maybe it's, where it's 3rd and 14, and I'm going to go ahead. I want to go ahead and take the deep ball. I want to take the shot at the deep ball. Obviously, if you have a matchup, you could do that as well. So I'm sure there's a lot of different ways Fade can be tagged to bang.
Right, like it's like a 15-yard comeback, I think.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me right there. That's what he's talking about. Okay.
He could bang as an out.
What it looks like. See,
Yeah.
Because he's talking about the Z. Z can be fade can be tagged, and there's a dotted line on there, and then also you can tag the X on a sluggo up this way.
Yeah.
Okay. So from your studying, Denver is double slant, right? And Dallas is double slant. So the double slant, but Denver, they're the right side with the R in the Denver. Right side is my choice. Dallas, the left side with the L in it. The left side is my choice.
Can you see how you can remember that, Caleb? D for Dallas or Denver means double slant.
Right.
And then the R in it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the R in Denver and the L in Dallas tell you which side the choice is.
I remember like Denver's like the slants are going right, and then Dallas's slants going left. That's how I remembered it. But
okay, and that's the same. And then you also, but again, think about your choice and your go route where those are going to. Again, so you have it obviously logic and how you're thinking. You want to have those trigger things going well. Let's think about this in the same. Let's go back to this same look right here and talk through a little bit of coverage clues. And then you want to kind of try to have a little bit of, coverage clues is always going to be something that I want, whether coach is telling you, hey, if it's one high, I want you to go to this, or if it's two high, I want you to go to that. Those are called coverage clues, where the coverage is going to dictate who I go to. If this is how many high safeties? None. 0 high. They're all sitting there about 7 yards looking at your guy man to man. So it's, what is in general, you're going to your matchup, your best matchup. I like, we already talked about the slant being dead here to the left. Okay. If it's Denver. All right. So
if it's like 3rd and 4, you might go outside slant. If it's like 3rd and 17, you might go for the fade on the outside, right?
Exactly. Now, if it's 3rd and 8, and this is your best player, your choice route might be the best. But if it's 3rd and 8, and this is still your best player, but it looks like they're going to do this, and those two are going to blitz.
Right.
Now, do I have time to wait on my choice route at 10 yards?
No,
maybe not. So maybe I'm just going to that right there, that outside slant. And maybe he catches it at 6 and can get you the first down, because I don't want to wait on this, and get sacked to wait on the choice because of the pressure.
Do you understand that coverage clues, Caleb? We got no high safeties. We have no high safeties, or even one high safety. What does that tell you? You might see pressure,
right,
in some form of man coverage. When defenses go into man coverage, typically a lot of times they're blitzing, which means you've got to make that changes your decision making on what you're going to do with the ball.
And that always goes to every route. What is my fastest, quickest release route?
Get out of jail throw. What's your get out of jail throw?
Throw the quickest? Who's going to look at me the soonest? Because if they're bringing more people, because they can walk right up here, and they can blitz all 7, and I only got 6 in protection. Or if this guy's free releasing, they probably peel with him, but it's still going to be, 6 on 5 or 7 on 6, whatever the numbers are. Where is my fastest throw?
So like,
go ahead.
Pre-snap, you should be thinking like, if I'm like getting blitzed here by the outside backers, I should go here. If I got more time in the pocket, I'll go for this route. Like, you should make these decisions like before the play happens, right?
Yeah. And to me, you have Denver in your mind. As soon as he calls Denver, you have those 3 things already planned out in general. And then you look at, this is team. Okay, it's too high. I'm not getting any blitzing. I know I like that matchup versus I know if it's, let's go back. I think I can go back here. Oh, here it is. So I can go back to that first too high picture right there. If I go back to the too high and I don't have number, I want to go to my choice route if it's too high with no blitz, but they got better numbers over there. They got a safety over the top and the linebacker underneath. Okay, well then, this is a pretty good picture over here. Let me erase some of all this crap. This is a good picture. So let me go ahead, clear this safety and linebacker out with him and throw that back, that slant there.
So you're not sensing pressure as much in that look, Caleb. Does that make sense?
It's not the man coverage or like covers here.
So the coverage clue is, I should be okay. I should have a little bit of time to throw here. Normal time maybe. Never have a lot of time, but yeah.
And some of it's going to depend on your protection. I noticed that most of these, the back is doing something. Not all of them, but these early ones right here, the back is flaring. All right, so I can say that, okay, in this too high protection, I still like. Let me go ahead and clean it up a little bit more. I still like this choice. I want this choice route because I have time. And if this defender, they basically are doubling my choice route as I look at it. I have this as my check down because this should clear out that safety, that corner, so I can go 1 to 2 right there.
See how you got a high-low on the corner, on the right corner? Circle the right corner, Kyle.
Yeah.
See, you can stretch that guy vertically, right? You got a high-low on him, don't you, Caleb?
Yes, sir.
He's going to get cleared out.
Mm-hmm. That opens space up for the with the running back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you have and it comes to you can say, hey, I want to go 1, 2, maybe to 3 and go in that order because you can kind of see that corner bail, and I'm going to check it down to here. But as I'm getting ready to check it to the swing route, this guy's running with him. Then I come back inside to my.
Maybe that linebacker shoots the flat, like that buzzes the flat. We call that.
Right. So that could be a triangle read right there for you. When I got no pressure and I know I got some time to kind of read it out a little bit. And let's say this because, hey, our running back is, if I can get him a swing route in space, he's really good and I can throw him the ball and let him go, run with it, even though it's an easy throw. That might be a way in this concept to get him the ball. Hey, let's make sure I'm looking here and clear that corner. The corner runs with him. Boom, I swing it right, dump it down right there. I'm getting ready to dump it. I know I got inside choice route should be open. There's a lot of space there. So, you can get yourself into the triangle read. Triangles are really, really good ways to put zone defenses in binds. But again, if it's quick game, maybe your coach is wanting out of your hands quicker. He doesn't want you to really go through that long of a progression type of read. Because the protection's not good. Then we go back. We know our numbers are good over here. So I clear that guy out and throw that one.
Question, how do you do you want to go both sides of the field here? Or if you have a side you want to go to, do you just stare at that field, that side the whole time? Or do you just kind of go back and forth mid play? Or how are you?
No. Are you talking about where your eyes go?
Oh yeah. Where are you looking at?
In quick game, I'm going to predetermine which side. I'm gonna predetermine. In this case, it's let's say it's numbers. It's based totally on numbers. I got a for sure 2-on-2, where I got 3-on-2 over here. I don't like. I'm thinking my back has to be in protection or something. Whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-snap look. Now I always go double slant. I always go 1 to 2. Okay, I go one. I go inside out. I go inside first. On double slant. We already determined that, this guy's running into a linebacker. If you think he's in a dropping situation, be careful of that. Maybe this linebacker's not a good dropper. You can see on film he doesn't do that, or maybe you can get coach to put this running back on this side and let him do that. As I catch the ball, he might think I'm going to hand it off. and it opens up that first slant real quick, even more. And that goes 1, and then he's 2. If you want to just purely, read out a double slant, that's how we work. We work in our progression. In a quick read, get the ball out.
Now, Caleb, let's say you take your snap, and you're probably going to take a 1-step drop here, just to anchor the back foot and throw, and none of those are open. You're like, oh shoot, none of them are open. Okay, now what do you do?
Like throw it away. Take off.
Well, yeah, you tuck and run, and maybe that choice route comes into your vision as you're starting to tuck and run, or stepping up in the pocket. Maybe you step up and buy some space, try to work your way to the right side as you scramble forward. Just step up and move to the right, and maybe that, maybe that choice route comes into vision as you're starting to be under a little stress now, right? But it's like, man, this is where things happen quick.
And and quick game in general, well, I'm telling our quarterbacks, I want the ball out. I want the ball out at a 2.5 at the latest. So if you're gonna expect to look 1 to 2 over here, nobody's open, and turn and stay in the pocket and be all nice and calm and find all these people over here, probably not happening. What Coach Smith is talking about is, if as you look over there, you start, okay, now I'm tucking, scrambling, and I tuck it, and I have to go this direction. You might see that guy dart open right there and be able to throw it to him.
That makes sense.
But just like extending the play
the play, yeah.
Right. Not just standing there all hunky dory like I got 9 seconds in the pocket. If you look over to the left and nothing's there, it's bad. And then just stand there and look over to your right, you're probably going to get hit in the back. You're going
to get sacked. Yep.
And again, quick game. That's just my general quick game protection. We want that clock in your head that you don't have. It's catch, rock, decision, throw. It's out pretty quickly. Now, I do notice in the drawings, the slants are pretty short. And it says slant 2 steps. Okay. So that tells me that your rock and throw might even be a little slow. Okay. So we're going 4 steps on my slant. When we catch rock and throw on 4-step slant with an outside foot up. But if he's only doing 2-step slant, it might have to be more like you're playing shortstop or second base, turning a double play, and it's catch and throw. You're not loading or sitting back and waiting. It's almost like that middle infielder type of throw.
Almost like that RPO thing we talk about, Caleb.
Yeah, our coach said it was it's like fast, where you just catch it and get out like as soon as possible. Just not like.
See, now you're trained to be able to execute all those throws, so no problem.
But again, so the thing that concerns me a little bit is, there's a whole lot of concepts that he's tagging and adding and mesh, double crossers. If he wants you to catch and get rid of the ball really fast, that takes those 2 inside receivers crossing like on 94Y rub or
let's do one more, Kyle. We'll end on one more play. So let's go to the next one, which is orange right 90. Caleb, are we learning something?
Yeah, I've learned a lot of stuff. Like, I think I kind of struggled with in the past is when I've got quarterback reps, is I'm just like not like panicking, but I'm not like, I don't have any like idea like where to go with the ball, so it's kind of like if I do get a completion, like the coach said.
Can you see how dangerous you'll be now that you're able to complete balls, right? You've improved your skill set. Now you're improving your mental understanding of the game, and you've got some weapons to throw to. Are you beginning to understand how guys throw for 3,000 yards in a season?
Yes, sir. Like looking back on film when I used from last year, the snaps I got, I was kind of like looking left for half a second, looking back right, and just kind of like it just looked.
No clue. Yeah, no clue.
Yeah,
and that's
it's
coaching.
It's really, really hard if your eyes are moving really fast.
Right.
You want your eyes and your head to move slow, almost like you're in slow motion,
Yes, sir.
so you can see better. The faster your head's moving, the faster your eyes are moving, the less you see. And that's why, especially in quick game, that's why we're going to divide the field pre-snap. I want to give my best look side, whether it's numbers, okay, or whether it's apex player, or whether it's matchup, or whether it's situational matchup, that I'm going to go to this side. So the better pre-snap clue you have, the better I can just focus on that side and be real decisive and let it ride.
How do we remember this play? Orange right 90. How do we remember that? What's the
I need to spend more time studying these plays. I don't really have like a memory.
I mean, I don't know either. Kyle, how would you remember it?
Well, it looks like, so 90, 91, 92 fit my terminology. Changes a little bit on 93, but it's probably the outside route tree. 94 is all, it's the same as 93.
I think it's like
what?
Sorry, I think it's like 90 is like outside of slants, and then 92 is like, or 91 is like comebacks, or
so 90. So in a normal route tree, in normal football, I'm talking about just an outside receiver. Okay, is going to be the zero route is a hitch, 5 yards turns
there
around.
Yep.
Okay, 91 is a quick out. 92 or no, the two. I'm talking about not 9. I'm just talking about the number, the second digit of those.
Two. Yeah. Okay.
Two
That's
is
what it
the
is.
Slant.
Okay.
Okay. And then most of the time, 99 is the fade route. Okay?
That's exactly what he's doing. Okay. As I look at these other plays.
Seems to be kind of what now.
So he's naming these after what the outside receiver route is doing.
Okay.
I don't know what 9 stands for, but the 0 stands for hitch.
He told me that. Yeah, he told me the like 0 hitch, 1 slant.
Yeah. So that's what normal, and then 90s normally mean quick protection. Okay, that's what that's telling the O-line and running back, say this is 90 protection. It tells you that I have, I got to have the ball out in 1.2 or whatever it is. And then, as far as I can tell, it looks like 3 and 4 are go routes by the outside guys instead of 9. So that's just what I see. And then the other thing that it looks like that I noticed right away, that he had 5, he put 5 in front of the deeper route. So if I put 5, 9 instead, so 90 is a 5-yard route. It's a 5-yard route, 5-yard hitch. And then 590 is a 10-yard hitch.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's 10 yards.
That's what it looks like to me, pretty simply, pretty quick. Now, I would guess that.
Yeah, he's got an orange right 590 in there. Yep. So that's what it is.
So I would guess that you're going to take a quick 3 on the 590s, means you want to take a quick 3-step drop, and it's a little now to let that route get a little deeper.
Okay.
And this one here on the 90, Caleb, is just a 1-step drop in shotgun.
Yeah. If it's just 90, then you're going to just catch. You're going to catch and throw. They're going to run a 5-yard hitch, and you're going to rock or step. Or again, however, every quick game's a little differently. Sometimes for me, again, we're working as the ball's in the air and the snap and the gun, we're already rocking back on our load foot and loading and catch and throw, and step into the throw. Some quarterback guys like to be more like a shortstop turning a double play, where I'm standing still, and as I catch it, I'm already just throwing the ball sideways to the right or left. So that just depends, and do what your coach tells you to do. Yeah. But then in the 590s, that's where I got to go deeper. They're going 5 yards deeper, so I need to take a quick 3 and throw it. Now let's go to this orange right 90. You follow me on the tree part, Caleb?
Question. Okay. Do you know what the inside routes are with the? Do you have is it just like?
for us, we're going to have a automatic complementary route to the outside receiver. And for me, 90 means the number one receiver runs the hitch. Okay, so number one runs the hitch, and number two runs what we call a skin route, which is an inside vertical on an apex player. So he's going to try to go an inside shoulder release on the apex player to keep that apex player as he's dropping to occupy him, so my throwing lane is clean on the hitch.
Does that make sense, Caleb?
It does.
That's what, and that's what this looks like to me. Even though it's drawn straight, that's probably what it is. Yeah. But and then the drag route right there looks like it's it would be something that would take the apex player, occupy the apex player for your hitch. All right. So again, I'm going to pick a side based on what side am I going to pick?
Based off the defense, like alignment.
Okay. So you're looking at, hey, where's my numbers? I'm going away from defensive numbers. So again, if they have that look where they have the Sam out here, they got the Sam out here, corner, strong safety. They got a free in a corner over here. And then they got their other two linebackers in the box. I'm going to go ahead, and I got 2-on-2 to my left. So I'm going to go outside in. Remember how the last time on the double slant, I said to go inside out? Here you go outside in. So I'm thinking in your mind, as a quarterback, the more decisive you can be, the faster the ball's out, the harder you can throw it. I'm going to say, I'm going to catch, rock, throw, and I'm going to rip that outside hitch. I'm going to throw a nice firm, don't have to knock him over, but you're going to throw a pretty good fastball to that hitch. Now, if something happens, let's say they walk this guy out and he buzzes and he runs out here and gets in your way to throw the hit. Okay, then I'm going to go to number two inside on my skin route. Now, for us, this guy's going to slow down as he skins inside. He's not going to go flying. It's not going to be a deep ball. It's a throw about a 8 to 10 yard, and he kind of is looking at you, and you hit him right in the chest. Does that make sense?
Right.
We practice that throw, don't we, Caleb?
We did. It's not like a seam route. It's like
seam route. Yeah.
Yeah, just but it's a quicker seam route. It's not. It's not down the field where safeties can get in your deep safeties get in your way. So that's how we're gonna teach the hitch. Now on the right side, if for some reason they had, let's say it was a look like where the numbers weren't better to the let's just say that for whatever reason they have the Willie way out here and the Sam kind of in here. So they got 3 to the left and 2-on-2 to the right, or the apex defender is a better look over here to the right. It's a little bit hairier with that drag route because they can actually run a hard corner and he sit and squat on your hitch, and they could squat on both hitches. And now you don't really have an answer because he's running right into the linebacker.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it to the right versus that look, because if that corner sits on that hitch, he can also cover the running back.
So like for this play, you want to go to the left side, right? Like because of the
route. Again, I can't tell you for sure because I've never run this specific concept, but in my world, if he squats, he converts to a go route. In 90 and 91, we convert to a fade on any press or hard corners. So that gives you another, that back to your high-low like you had before.
And that would be a next level question
Denver.
You could have for your coach, Caleb. You can say, look, if that corner sits, coach, can we convert that into a fade? And now we got a high-low on that corner. If he goes with the fade, now I can throw it to my running back.
And you want to be careful early on, how much, I don't like to give my receivers much option because they're not smart enough and they convert when they're not supposed to. And, so you be a little careful sometimes on that. But hey, if hey, coach, if he's pressing, can I give him a fade signal, and again, some people do like to run we call a fade stop, where where versus press, he pretends he's running the fade, then he comes back and runs a hitch route off of that too. So, there are different ways to handle that, and your coach may have those in his brain already, and just haven't not communicated on the power play.
I'll ask him about what he says. So.
But I think you're I think you're okay because of the double hitches outside. He's gonna the drag route's gonna hold the number 2. He's gonna hold the apex player. So I'm okay in either direction, especially if it's one high or no high. But to go hitch to my best look side, as far as the as far as the apex player or the numbers go, and but think outside in. I'm going to throw that hitch hard. Not, don't try to take his head off, but I'm going to put it hard at that 5-yard spot on his outside shoulder. And when you want to throw it, this guy starts to break. You want to throw it on this shoulder, so when he catches it, he spins toward the sideline and turns that direction as he catches it. That might be something that you feel you want to teach the receivers as they catch. Now, the other thing about a hitch is I want the ball to be about right here when he turns around. I want the ball to be out of your hands already before he looks. Okay, so that's a big point for you, because if you have the ball and he sees you throw it, that means this guy's already breaking, and his chance of pick six is a lot better if the ball's in your hands when he turns around.
So you shouldn't be throwing it when he's already looking at you. You should be out by sooner.
Yeah, you want to rock him through. You want to know where he's going to be, and have thrown this so many times. And I even make our guys at some point, usually it's in the middle of the summer after we've repped quite a bit, where actually the quarterback has to close his eyes. He knows where that guy's going to be. He's going to throw it to a spot, and that guy's going to be there. He knows, he trusts it. He's done it enough where he trusts that receiver to be in that spot. And so because you want to let the ball go before he looks. So and typically receivers cut this short. They don't like they drop if they turn around and the ball's halfway there, they get nervous and drop it. So then they're going to cut their route a little short. You keep urging them, hey, I want you the ball to be halfway there, so there's no way this corner can ever pick it. So keep your depth at 5 yards before you turn. Don't start, run 1 or 2 steps and start to turn and drift. You want to push that to 5 before you turn, and that ball will be on you pretty quick, and you'll catch it, and you'll have 5-yard separation. Now you can run with it. If you as a receiver, you're coaching your receivers, hey, if you turn early, number one, either the corner is going to pick it, or the corner is going to drill you right as you catch it, or as you catch it, if he's not great, as you catch it, now you only got 1 yard separation and you have trouble running with it. If you run full 5 yards and I let go of the ball before you turn, now you're going to catch the ball and you're going to have 2 or 3 yards of separation, and now you can go be a great runner. So you want to coach your receivers when you're throwing routes on air early on by yourself, and you're just out working, or you get one guy to go do it, 2 guys, or obviously if it's in a team situation, you gotta rep it. But you
should have some chemistry for that route. Make sure like the corner's not jumping that. Like you should be fast.
Right. And again, and you'll have a lot of reps, and you got to trust and see corners and see what coverages you're going to do. In a too high, there is a chance he can squat on you. When you get so I would, when you have 90 called and too high, you have to be really, really aware of him squatting. He can do that. What he can cover deep, and he squats. So I'm not a big fan of too high hitches. I'll call double slants a lot. Now, if he squats, I'm running a slant away from him. Yep. This guy takes my willy out of the way, and then there's a good space.
This could be a nice play versus all out blitz. 0.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really,
for sure, 1 high. I love hitches versus 1 high. Let's go to another.
Because I like those. I like that that crossing route as well versus a blitz look. Nice
Also-
easy throw. You know, if he gets leverage on his man, he could take that.
You know, that's an easy hitch either side, best matchup.
Yep.
I'm going to rock and throw it.
Yep.
One high. You know, they move this guy over here to take him. He starts blitzing. You know, he's coming or whatever. They're going to probably not going to blitz this guy if he's probably taking him man. Again, now you got your hitches are in great shape, or you go 1 to 2 because you can win inside there.
Mm-hmm.
And like Coach said, if you know the line he's running with him, that crossing route is good versus man. It's just hard to wait sometimes on it. But it's hard to cover if you can get a crosser, if you have time enough to let him get a little bit of cross going, cover 0. So that's but that's a base play and that's a good play. You should probably be running that play quite a bit, I would think, and want to be really good at throwing those. And then have the conversation eventually with your coaches that, hey, coach, he's pressing or it's cover 2. Have you ever heard of a fade hole throw, Caleb? Coach Smith, you guys worked on that?
Oh, yeah.
So
Caleb, say yes.
Yes.
Eventually, not first day, but eventually you'll want to ask, hey, coach, in 90 versus a cover 2 picture, and he's a hard corner, can we convert that to a fade? And I rip the fade hole right there about 15 yards before that safety can get over there, just so I don't throw that hitch into a
We
hard
practiced
corner.
that throw, Caleb.
Yeah.
And even if they don't feel comfortable, the wide receiver's doing it on their own, can I signal them to run a fade? And give whatever the signal is. I'm going to pull on my face mask for fade, and make sure they outside release that when they do it.
This is like a pretty fast ball. You don't want to.
Yeah. That's probably one of the physically hardest throws you make. You rope that in that 15 to 18, right on the sideline, hard as you can throw it, and versus cover 2 fade hole.
Okay.
All right. Let me. So you feel okay with the 90?
I got it so far. I got it.
Okay.
Coach, let's end there. And Caleb, if you enjoyed this,
look at the next one, 91. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's really the same thing. The only difference in the out route in 91 is going to be that it's better when people do things with their underneath guys, because he's running away from an inside out defender. We still convert it. We do versus the cover 2 look, where that safety's like that. We still convert that.
Sure.
But
does that make sense, Caleb?
But that's
can't run a speed out against a press corner, can you, Caleb?
No.
So that's one we want to, hey, coach, can I change that one? But it's a similar as far as your reads go. It's still an outside in read. And it's still, you want to be numbers based best. Then it's, apex defenders, and then it's matchups, and it's, it's situations. So I'm not sure, where he's going with what the back is. That's kind of it kind of gets in the way sometimes on these kind of throws. It kind of brings people to him. But again, an out route on either side is pretty good. So again, but that's still an outside in read.
I had a question about that. Like, which routes would be outside in, which routes would be inside out reads?
Okay, so for us, okay, I'll just have you a different. So our 90 and our 91 are outside in, and I want to be decisive pre-snap, and I'm thinking I'm throwing that outside route, unless as I'm getting ready to throw it, as I'm in my motion, almost pulling the ball back, something is getting in my way. The buzzing of the flat defender or a corner comes flying down, and we should have converted it, but it didn't get converted. But other than that, I'm throwing the outside route, and then if at the last second, if I have to, I adjust and throw the inside route. Now, again, with that drag route, it's a little different, but that's how we do it. And then we had the fade, any kind of fade, 99, which I call 99. There, I think he was using a lot of 93 and 94 type things. We go high, low. And I know on the choice route side of Denver and Dallas, with the back swinging, that would be the high-low part on the back swinging. 92 when we're running a solo, or let's go double slant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which we call 922. We tag it with double twos, but meaning there's two slants. But we go inside out.
Okay.
And then 92 or slant bubble, okay, which I think you have later, slant out, slant flat, however you call it. We go outside in. Now, only difference on that, if I'll draw it up right here for you, and you'll see it. And if we're going to go here, which is the outside route?
The out route.
Yeah, the bubble or the flat. That's number one. Then we readjust to the inside slant. That's number two. So that's why we call it. We're still outside in on that, even though we're on 90. It's outside in, but 90 it's he's the outside route, he's the inside route. So it's 1, 2. Even though it's not the receivers, it's the route that's running outside or inside. Right. That's how I do it. That's how our 90s do it. So you want to have and Caleb, I urge you, do not go into or let them put a route concept in until you know what you're doing.
Okay.
I got you. If you're taking a snap and you're doing what you were talking about before, where I'm looking left, looking right, I'm not real sure. No one's really told me what to do. Man, that's setting up for sack, fumble, really having trouble. So just urge them, or get on the phone as soon as you get it with Coach Smith or what have you, or me, and get what am I doing? And so if I'm you, I go back through this and you take notes and you write on, you print out that Denver or whatever, and you write notes all over it. And you have in your mind, I know what I'm doing. When Denver's called, here's exactly what I'm thinking. And I know it down cold, and I know what's going on. And this is the time, right now, my quarterback that went to Wofford, I don't know if Coach Smith has talked to you about him, probably have. Paulie Smith, he's an early enrollee freshman at Wofford.
Sealy, yep.
Yeah, and he's doing spring practice. And, he's like, they're putting in almost like a whole new offense every practice. And I'm like, just keep grinding on it. Study it like it's your life dependent on it. Because you got to stay up all night the night before when you get the new plays, so you know what you're doing. Because you don't know what you're doing, man. Quarterbacking, it's really hard when you know what you're doing. When you don't know what you're doing, it's impossible.
Dead. You know what that feels like, Caleb.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But also, in the past, my coach didn't really tell me any of the stuff like you're telling me right now, or any of my coaches at the old school. So it's kind of and I've already been told by my new coach some of the stuff you guys, you've said in this session. So it's kind of, encourage you to be on the right track, going.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, be very cautious on how you talk to your new coach.
Yeah.
Be very aware that you're not trying to, hey, I know more than you. You always, even if like the coach you had before and they didn't know anything, you just be real professional in your communication. I know you and Coach Smith talk about that kind of stuff all the time. But nothing pisses off a coach more than a player coming off like he knows more, even if he does know more. But just be real professional about it and
Like
do it in
open.
a court. And I'm asking your advice, coach. What do you think? How do you think? What, that kind of stuff. So
Be like open to his insight and his advice to want to just,
yeah. I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Can you explain that again?
Right.
One time I saw, you're instead of saying, oh no, we should be reading outside in on this. Just, what I saw someone talking, they were talking about reading the hitch as an outside in. I try to throw the outside route first, and I come into the skin route real quick. Have you ever done that before, coach?
Right.
Stuff like that, and again, if it sounds like, just as the more you talk a little bit, sounds like he has the route trees, and they know some basic stuff. And so that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty experienced coach. Been doing it a long time, and it sounds like he's been fairly successful, pretty successful. So hopefully Caleb's getting in the right situation, but this is awesome, coach. I'm going to record this, Caleb. I'll send it to you.